Welcome to episode one of Johnny's Cinematic Spinner Rack. Yes, this podcast where we spin the racks of comic book movies and we see how they collide with comic book history. I'm your host, Johnny, and today we have a massive episode for you lined up. We're diving deep into Spider Man, Brand New Day, the psychology of Spider Man, and we're addressing some heavily divisive Daredevil leaks, and we are tackling a breakdown of the downhill slide of modern movie discourse. So, what I want you to do is to grab your headphones because we need to talk. All right. So let's just get into it. Spider Man, man. Spider Man Brand New Day. What comics you should be reading, and what comic that I think is going to be the direction of Spider Man in the MCU. So let's just kick things off with our favorite neighborhood web slinger. Lately, I have been reading a lot of Spidey comics in anticipation for this upcoming Spider Man Brand New Day. Wow, what a wonderful trailer that they had. Really sparks the imagination. And the word on the street is that um, the movie is pulling heavily from Jerry Conway's legendary late 1980s run of Spectacular Spider-Man, which is fantastic, by the way. But for me, I think that what I really can't wait to see is what they do with Tombstone. I think the Tombstone has one of like the most legendary introductions into any media. And what I discovered when I was reading Spectacular Spider-Man is that a lot of the '90s cartoon actually takes from Spectacular Spider-Man more so than Amazing Spider-Man, especially when it's a newer villains like Tombstone and Hobgoblin and Scorpion and some Kingpin in there. So Spectacular Spider-Man has been very influential, especially that Jerry Conway run. It's like, oh my God, it's like most of my childhood. I had to owe him a big kudos to, and like I said, it wasn't until this recent movie come out that I specifically got into this run. You know, my Spider-Man days are coming up as a teenager in the early aughts, reading a whole bunch of Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley's Ultimate Spider-Man and things like that. So um, I'm really excited and really happy that I got to actually dig deep into these comics because of Amazing Spider-Man, or sorry, because of Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that's what leads to what my little speculation with these new trailers. You definitely should be reading that Kingpin art, not the Kingpin, the Tombstone art. Here comes Tombstone. Um, you definitely need to be reading those runs. Um, those are the Jerry Conway runs that I like the most. It's like a 4 issue event, but like in totality, it's more like 18 issues when you're dealing with the introduction of Kingpin. And you will notice if you're a big fan of the animated series from the 90s, a lot of the animated series took inspiration from that. So that's the comic that you should be reading. But the comic I really want to talk about next in specific, which is concurrent to that arc from that era, was written by Peter David. And it's essentially, in my opinion, one of the greatest Spider-Man stories ever told. And I really think that that's where they're gonna go with a movie six or movie seven, even if Tom Holland is willing to do seven. And that is the death of Jean DeWolf. Now, uh, I'm gonna butcher her name. Lisa Zayas Cologne, I believe, or Lisa Cologne Zayas. I always get her name mixed up. She's from The Bear. Lovely actress. She has been recently outed to be Detective Jean DeWolf in the next Spider-Man film, which I'm really excited. And that's what really got me into reading this specific story arc. And this is where I wanted to go. Whenever people talk about wanting to have a dark, grounded street level detective superhero stories, they usually point their fingers straight to Batman the Bat, which I get it. But I think a lot of casual fans, a lot of casual moviegoers and comic fans, they did miss how incredible it is when Spider-Man gets dark. Like Spidey is often viewed as like the Superman of the Marvel universe.